Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the exceptionally rare rock-flying type Pokemon Archen and its equally rare evolution Archeops, the two collectively known as the First Bird Pokémon. While they might have not appeared to be a terrifying threat at a young age, the members of the Archen family are still powerful brutes that can tear others apart limb from limb with ease if they can get in the first strike.
Archen have avian body forms with red scales on the head and legs, two three-toed feet with white claws, a large mouth with sharp teeth that jut out from the sides of the jawline, large eyes with black pupils, and a pair of two-clawed hands that have transformed into wings. They further have a long tail with a blue bladed end and red feathers that form a puffy plumage around the base of their tail. Their head has blue scales to it in the back, and the wings and body are covered in yellow feathers with blue feathers at the tips of their wings. The evolved form, Archeops, have a very similar body form to Archen, but are noted for their longer, meteor red tail with a blue palm frond-like end, as well as a streak of green scales that covers the top of their head all the way down to the base of their long neck. They further have 3 digits on each of the wing hands, and have green sections of plumage at their ankles, giving them an even more colorful appearance on the much larger body frame, which itself makes it hard for these beasts to fly properly.
Although Archen and Archeops are normally extinct in the wild, recent advances in modern technology have made it possible to actually resurrect them from plume fossils.
However, sadly on that note, their plumage is so delicate that the resurrection process is likely to fail if anyone other than a trained professional attempts it, and the skewed gender ratio of 1 to 8 in favor of males has hampered their capacity to expand the population numbers in the wild. Despite their odd forms, these creatures did once hold a very important title within the world of Pokemon, namely being one of the oldest known ancestors of modern birds, though modern re-examination of this claim has cast considerable doubt on it. Even so, they do still possess feathers, which have served a dual purpose in enabling weak flight in the fully evolved state and providing a barrier against the natural elements, as well as a hollow bone structure, which is designed exactly like that of a modern bird. It is believed that both Archen and Archeops are related to, if not are part of the genus Archaeopteryx, but they appear to have arisen earlier in time before dying out with the rest of the genus in the late Jurassic. Moreover, they are noticeably different from their relatives in that they are extremely powerful offensively, and are perhaps the most powerful fossil Pokemon around, with the exception of Genesect. This is readily seen in their stats, for in the case of Archeops, while the bodies are frail and don't have a lot of stamina to work with, their base HP defense and special defense stats being below average for a fully evolved rock and flying type Pokemon, their base attack, special attack, and speed stats are all above average, and they possess the highest base attack stat out of all non-legendary flying type Pokemon, rendering them a terrifying and speedy offensive force that is not to be trifled with if one can't outmaneuver them.
Archen are omnivorous by nature, but can only hunt for small insects and berries because of their small size.
Their wings are still relatively small and cannot be used for flying. Instead, Archen roost within trees and simply hop from one branch to another when pursuing prey, or, if the distance is too great, by lightly gliding down from a higher point to a lower one. Despite their small size, Archen are vicious creatures and will gladly attack anything that dares to challenge them to a battle. This isn't too surprising considering how high the offensive base stats are, as only the most heavily armored opponents can resist their destructive attacks even at a young age. Unfortunately, because Archen are relatively fragile, they scare easily and become mentally weak if enough damage is dealt to them. This dampening ability, known as Defeatist, essentially cuts the attack and special attack stats of Archen by half when their HP drops below half of its maximum value. As an upside though, Archen learn a surprisingly diverse set of moves, allowing them to obtain a type advantage over most opponents even when the vitality plummets. It is also noted that Archen are actually quite easy to befriend despite their imposing strength, but caution must be taken with raising them, as the destructive potential is more than enough for them to easily kill their handlers by mistake. While they are more effective at flying than their pre-evolved form, the muscles that Archeops use for flapping their wings are still weak, and they generally need to get a running start in order to take flight, requiring a speed of almost 25 miles per hour on average in order to really get going, and at least 2.5 miles to get off the ground, in turn making them far more effective at running than actually flying. Much like Archen, Archeops are notably vicious predators, capable of destroying most prey without exerting much effort, especially on land, and it can be a pain to control the behavior. In addition, Archeops are understood to be surprisingly intelligent and will use coordinated tactics when in flocks to snag particularly large prey, having one member of the flock corner the prey item while another swoops in from above to attack. Despite the fact that they can deal damage to a degree far greater than almost any other fossil Pokemon known, Archeops still suffer from the same mental issues present in Archen that causes them to lose vitality and strength when severely damaged, in turn also having Defeatist as their only possible ability. Thankfully, just as with their pre-evolved form, these beasts have access to a tremendous degree of versatility in the moveset, and thus can be of great use if one is able to make the most of their strength before it wanes.
These creatures honestly make me feel kind of uncomfortable, but it isn't necessarily because of their flying-type natures. I've made it clear on many occasions that I'm not the biggest lover of birds and fly types in general. What really gets me, actually, isn't even the way they look, but the way that they behave. On the one hand, Archen are frail but kind of cute in their own way, and tend to be rather easy to get along with if they're not hungry, so my issues with them are somewhat moot. But Archeops are rabid monsters that exude a terrible instinctual energy of a sort about them. I can't decide if it's because they always seem to be chomping at the bit to get their teeth around something they can actually eat, or if it's the fact that they have to flap like little maniacs with their wings just as they're airborne in a standing position of sorts. Their screeching cries, drooling faces, vibrant and shocking colors. All in all, they can honestly be really scary to meet in person. Still, I will give them their due merits in just how powerful they are and the sheer damage they can do. But if they're not holding a healing item, you might have some trouble bringing out the best in them, so it's something that should be noted if you really want to see the voracious and wild fury that these beasts can unleash at a moment's notice.
Wild as adults, and more than capable of proving to be a terror to handle in the right cases, the members of the Archen family are vicious beasts that can easily tear apart anything that can't knock them down a peg quickly. You might have to go out of your way to find a rare plume fossil in order to actually resurrect one, but the effort can be more than worth it if you need a speedy powerhouse on your team that is more than able to devastate others before they can even get the chance to attack.
Just do yourself a favor and make sure that you keep them well fed and happy. Biting the hand that feeds them might seem bad enough, but if they decide to take flight, your bigger concern might be how to not have a part of your limb ripped off when and if they manage to get their awkward frames airborne.
Thank you for watching this video. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to you all in the world each and every time we meet like this, to explore the many different facets of both the world of Pokemon as we know it, and the world as we live it, through every adventure we have with Pokemon by our side. If you'd like to, please subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz, to keep yourself updated on content uploads and other materials of the like. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like to know right away when something new is uploaded, and my written works, from which most of this is based on, can be found on DeviantArt. Links to both can be found in the description down below. Remember that the world of Pokemon is a place full of wonder and mystery, and you never know what to expect. So, stay vigilant, keep watch, and always be prepared for the unexpected. Until next time, trainers and friends of all sorts, have a wonderful time.